The most common cause is not being engaged in school. So if they're not engaged, then they don't come. If they don't come, then they don't succeed academically.
And the most rewarding part?
It's a vicious cycle.
The most rewarding part for you?
The most rewarding part is watching these students become more engaged. They actually make connections with teachers, with staff, and they really want to be there.
And that solves the problem, and you guys are the key to that. Thank you so much for joining us. And that will wrap it up for us over here. Mark, how about we send it back over to you?
All right, Jackie, thanks so much. Getting ready for another game, the 5A game between Milton and Savannah. That's coming up after this timeout.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More.
More to come.
More Wilson.
I'm Stan Deaton with the Georgia Historical Society. Hark the herald angels sing, Christ the Lord is risen today. Love divine, all loves excelling. Among the greatest hymns ever written, all the work of Charles Wesley. He was born in England in 1707 and was educated at Christ Church College at Oxford, along with his brother John, where they started the Holy Club, made up of the First Methodist. Wesley was ordained as an Anglican priest and joined the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel. He accompanied his brother to Georgia, serving as General James Oglethorpe's secretary and as chaplain at Fort Frederica on St. Simon's Island. It wasn't a long or a happy stay, but the Moravians he met in America influenced him deeply. Back in England, Wesley preached to huge crowds as an itinerant minister and published his hymns and sacred poems in 1739. The man who eventually wrote more than 6,500 hymns still sung after 2 centuries first arrived in Georgia on March 9, 1736. Today in Georgia History.
Today in Georgia History is made possible by the generous support from the Robert W. Woodruff Foundation and as a joint production of the Georgia Historical Society and Georgia Public Broadcasting. For more on this topic, go to todayingeorgiahistory.org.
It is championship weekend here on GPB. We are getting ready for the big 5A Boys Championship matchup between Milton and Savannah. That's coming up next live on GPB.
He's going coast to coast. Clear the runway. He's coming in. It's a helicopter slam jam. He's going to pull up from 3. Yeah. Watch this guy go. Dribble drive, backs it in, and gets it.
It's primetime basketball here on a great GPB, the 5A state title game. From Region 3, the Savannah Blue Jackets, and from Region 6 5A, the Milton Eagles, an 8:45 approximate tip, but we had to go a little later on because we had a girls game preceding that one, and congratulations to the McEachern Lady Indians for an undefeated season. What an outstanding job Phyllis Arthur has done with that basketball team. Gil Tyree, along with my partner in crime, Herb White. And Herb, we got a battle royale here tonight. A team that's been there before versus a team that's the new kid on the block.
Yeah, it's going to be a contrast in styles, too. Of course, Milton, David Boyd's teams always like to control the tempo. They're very well coached, and they're always loaded with some college players that are going to be major college players. And then you have Savannah, of course, a team that only has one guy that's going to a major college to play, and he's going to be a football player. So, but they play 10 guys. They really get after it, and it should be an interesting contest.
All right, let's take a look at the route and how they got here to the Gwinnett. First of all, we take a look at Milton and what they accomplished. You look at their resume as they moved on to the finals, Herb White. They defeated Walton, a second-round win over Shiloh, North Gwinnett, and, of course, the blowout win over Harrison. So, like I said, been here, done that before. Take a look at Savannah right now, coming in, and of course, what an outstanding job they've done with Tim Jordan. They play everybody. They play 10 deep. Hillgrove, they down Westlake, North Cobb, and then the win Wednesday night over Alpharetta by the count of 51-46. So we got a great basketball game here tonight. Clearly a battle of the North versus the South. And Savannah got a whole lot to prove, and we know a lot of people down in Savannah are watching this broadcast here on the great GPB tonight. So you take a look at Milton, and Milton, a name that you're familiar with, Mr. Nolte.
Yes, Evan Nolte, and he's played. This is his fourth championship game he started in. Of course, they finished runner-up twice, and they won one in 2010. So he's been there a lot, and he's a do-everything kind of guy. He's just my kind of player. He can rebound, he can score, he makes the players around him better by his passing. He's a smart defensive player.
And a lot of people thought he was going to head to Athens, but he's going to Charlottesville, Virginia, to play for Tony Bennett and company for the Wahoos of Virginia. Take a look at Savannah. Like I said, they play 10 people, Herb. They go 10 deep, and they really play everybody. Some guys, you look at Wingster, Dante Wingster, a guard who is one of the many seniors on this basketball team. In addition to that, you have David Basil, who is a center on this team. So, but they're a litany of senior starters for Coach Jordan.
Right, they're going to lean. Those two guys are leaders. Basil's going to play the post at about 6'6". He's going to be important. They've got to have some inside scoring, and Dominique Mixon is the guy that leads them out there to start the game. But you're right, they're going to run a lot of people in and out. They're going to try to wear Milton down. It's going to be a contest of wills. It's going to be a very interesting ball game, I think.
All right, let's check in with the best-looking and third member of our crew here tonight, Lindsay Theory. Lindsay, how you doing tonight? Primetime basketball here on the great GPB with you.
Gil, I feel a lot better with that compliment. Hey, this Savannah team, they have a long history of great basketball. They also have a pretty notable alumni. They call him Never Nervous Purvis. Now, Purvis Ellison, he was picked in the 1989 #1 overall in the NBA draft. Now, I know a lot of these guys weren't even born back then, but Purvis played in the NBA for 11 seasons. Hopefully, he's providing a little inspiration for these guys to get out there and win a state championship and maybe get to the NBA someday on their own.
Lindsay, thank you. And of course, Nervous Purvis Ellison played for the great Denny Crum at Louisville, and of course, Herb knows Coach Crum very well. Tip-off ready for the 5A state championship here on the great state of Georgia as we wrap up the Gwinnett portion of championship weekend here on the great GPB. We'll be right back after these very important messages.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
As a strong, stable bank, we're always looking for opportunities to boost the vitality of our communities by supporting local events and finding financial solutions for our customers in all economic times. Regions is proud to be a partner with Georgia Public Broadcasting in building a better Georgia.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
The Atlanta Dream, Atlanta's back-to-back Eastern Conference champions and Atlanta Sports Council's Team of the Year, is back at Phillips Arena on May 25th with 2012 Olympic hopefuls Angel McCoughtry and Lindsey Harding and Brazilian Olympian Erica de Souza. It's the Dream's 5th anniversary season this summer at Phillips Arena. Ticket information at atlantadream.net or 877-977-7729. Run with the Dream.
And by the Mabel Reader Foundation.
Welcome back to Chance of a Lifetime. It's the final stage of the game, and it's also time for Jane to choose a door. Help her out. What door should she pick? All right, so Jane, which door did you choose?
I think I'm going to go with door number 2.
Door number... Oh, wait a minute. It looks like it says right here that you never graduated high school, so none of these doors are available to you. That's it for Chance of a Lifetime. We'll see you next time.
Back here in Duluth, the introductions of tonight's lineup. on the basketball game for the 5A state championship here in the great state of Georgia. We're going to take a look at the Milton Eagles first of all and take a look at their starting lineup here tonight. And what an outstanding job that David Boyd has done. He's won everywhere he's been. And he has a great lineup here tonight. Take us through.
Well, Shaq Johnson, of course, probably the best leaper in the state of Georgia this year, maybe ever in high school basketball in Georgia at about 6'5", 6'6", going to Auburn. Evan Nolte, again, great all-around player. He's going to go to Virginia. Evan Coleman is another good player. Jalen Patterson is stepping in there lately and doing a great job. He had 22 in the semifinals. Tevin Glass, another inside player at about 6'6".
All right, of course, David Boyd stuck right now on career win 598. Got it against Harrison in that big third quarter 72-52 win. And he's closing in on 600 victories and, like I said, multiple state championships at 4 different schools. The man flat out can coach, and he gets it done. Let's take a look at Savannah's lineup, brought to you by our good friends at Regions. And you see, like I said, David Basil, the starting center, the sophomore. And you see Famble, and you see Javante Spivey, Naquan Chisholm, and also Kavan Freeman. This is a team, like I said, coached by, and we talked about this many times, Tim Jordan, who plays everybody. You see him in the huddle right now looking dapper, and of course you love the way they look, and of course he is on the right portion of your screen right now. That is the coach, Coach Jordan, with the blue vest outside of the huddle. There he is right there. And of course I said he looks like Bruiser Flint. The coach at Drexel, and of course, Bruiser was an assistant for John Calipari at UMass, and now doing great things. But that's Coach Jordan, and what a job he's done with the Blue Devil program.
Well, and it's a great program. They've been, I think, the 28th
Blue Jackets, I should say, correct?
28 state championships, and it's just an unbelievable run throughout the years. And he had a great quote in the paper today talking about all these people have all these McDonald's All-Americans. We don't have any, but we have a lot of guys that like to eat at McDonald's. So he said we got homegrown players, and we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Basil and Shaq Johnson will jump it up. The tip is controlled by Savannah, and they'll push it up the floor. Like I said, they play a lot of everybody here tonight. You see Chisholm out top, guarded by Jalen Patterson. He makes a move, now goes on the right side, and driving and shooting up and getting his shot blocked was Spivey, Javante Spivey. It was blocked out of bounds. So it will be Milton basketball. Great defense, and you see it right there coming over.
Yeah, well, anybody knows David Boyd, knows his team loves to play man-to-man. They will use some zone, but he likes that tough, tight pressure man-to-man, and he's got the athletes to play it.
Tevin Glass with the block. We're scoreless here early on in the first quarter. 5A state championship between Savannah and Milton. Glad to have you with us. Primetime basketball here on GPB. The entry inside, and now Nolte, cross court. Over on the right side, 22 is going to let it fly, and he got it. 22 here tonight. That's Jalen Patterson. And just like that, a 3-ball. Milton up 3-0 over Savannah. 7-10 in the opening quarter. Negotiating around is Famble. Famble with a circus shot off glass, no good. Rebound controlled, and getting inside was Basil. He lost it, and again with the rebound and going strong to the hole is Kayvon Freeman. So it's a 3-2 ball game right now, up and down. Token pressure by Savannah, and they're able to control it off the steal. The bounce pass down low, and struggling with the basketball was Basil, and loses it out of bounds.
I believe we got a foul on Nolte. He reached in and grabbed. The Jackets, that's the way they like to play. They're going to try to make it a 94-foot game. They're going to hustle. They're going to scramble. They're going to scrape. Now they're playing zone down on their end, and Milton hit that first 3-pointer, so we're going to see how long they can stay in that zone.
Famble on the inbounds, and the wheel around. The score was Kayvon Freeman. Again, that pressure, the trap, token trap, employed by Savannah, and they'll back it up. Milton, no problem going against it. Shaq Johnson on the point, and he nails it right wing.
Well, that's something you don't expect from Shaq Johnson to knock down the 3. But hitting those 2, it's going to be a long night if they can keep that up.
6-4 Milton over Savannah. The Blue Jackets across the timeline and handling the basketball and driving. With the bounce pass is stolen away by Nolte. He breaks. 2-on-1 break. The trail. Johnson.
Oh, he's a highlight film waiting to happen. My goodness.
8-4. Under 6 to go in the opening quarter. Wow.
Look out, Blake Griffin.
The shot was rejected by Kayvon Freeman on a bust out. Is Nolte spinning around. Tap up, no good. The ball controlled by Johnson. Out to Nolte. They'll bring it back out. Evan Coleman's going to slow it down. An 8-4 ball game early on. The Eagles leading. A 3-ball. Good. That is Evan Coleman. Just like that, 10-4. Milton out in front of Savannah. Driving and almost losing it out of control was Naquan Chisholm. Trying to get inside and throwing it up. And it goes out of bounds after Johnson.
Here we go. Let's see how long Shaq Johnson stays in the air.
Look at the trail. Come on, big fella. Get it in your living room. Knocking it down. An 8-0 run by Milton. And Milton moving it again. That's Shaq Johnson. Giving it to Nolte. Oh, he blew the dunk. And Savannah the other way. The Blue Jackets helter-skelter here in Gwinnett. The ball on the floor. Fought for. Dove for. Mass humanity on the floor. And a tie-up. 11-4 right now in the opening quarter. Herb White. We talked about the mass substitutions that Savannah is going to employ, and it started already.
Well, it's been a tough start because Milton's hit 3 out of their first 3 3-pointers, and if they can do that, I don't care how many people you can throw at them. It's going to be a long night for Savannah, but I like the way Savannah's getting inside. They've made a couple strong moves to the basket, got a couple hoops inside. They need to keep doing that and see if they can exploit that just a little bit. And Nolte committed the ultimate mortal sin, missing a dunk.
Milton on an 8-0 run. They back it out right now as Savannah goes to a zone. That's Shaq Johnson deep in the corner, and he's tied up, and a whistle.
Shaq Johnson's going to have to start wearing a little helmet on his head because he's going to knock himself out. He's got his head right there by the basket.
Among those in the ball game for Savannah right now is Devin Holmes. And also, we should mention Jason Lawton in the basketball game. We'll set the rest of the lineup a little bit later on. Nolte goes out top. They go down low to Johnson, and he blows the dunk on the baseline. The ball is controlled by Holmes. He gets it ahead, and they have a pass inside and ahead of everybody, and getting the basket is Chris Coakley. That'll make it 11-6 now. Savannah down by 5. Across the timeline right now is Evan Coleman to Nolte. The high-low action goes over to Tevin Glass to Nolte. Spots up a 3 and count.
Well, that's just brutal. 4 for 4 from 3-point distance now for Milton.
And he shoots it with ease. In the open floor and loses the basketball was Holmes, and the ball knocked out of bounds. And the basketball will remain in the possession of Savannah. But Milton's going to take a timeout. With the score, Milton 14 and Savannah 6. Mr. Nolte is jacking them up and knocking them down. Early on here at Gwinnett, we have a doozy for the 5A state championship game. The boys on deck. We'll be right back on the great GPB.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
Back here in Duluth, and of course right now, Milton out in front of Savannah 14-6 early on in the 5A state championship game. Just a reminder, GPB's Mark Harmon will be at center court at halftime of the championship game here between Milton and Savannah. Top 3 dunkers from the great state of Georgia have been voted the best rock rimmers in town. So you voted online. You can see them live in action with their high-flying dunks. It's GPB Sports in the AJC Slam Dunk Contest at halftime of our game here tonight, going on right now. Exclusive coverage here on GPB. You get a look at the lovely Milton cheerleaders who are up here in Duluth tonight, hanging out and rooting for their guys in the 5A state championship game. One more, and they take it all back to Milton.
Well, Savannah in that feast or famine defense, Gil, they're going to scramble and try to double team and triple team when the ball gets in near the paint. And if they don't get the ball, then Milton kicks it out. And if they're hitting those threes, it's going to make it tough.
Milton controlled the rebound, and they bring it up floor. And Evan Coleman with the basketball. He's trapped, goes back outside, over to Jalen Patterson. Down low to Tevin Glass. And he is met inside. And a whistle, a quick whistle. 3:17 in the opening quarter.
I wonder if Coach Boyd will let Shaq Johnson come out at halftime and participate in the slam dunk contest. I think he'd be a worthy participant.
About ready to enter the basketball game for Milton is Mo Lewis.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Jordan stays in that double and triple teaming every time somebody gets the ball near the paint, because so far it's kind of been trouble for Savannah as they've kicked the ball out and hit 4 out of 5 threes, although I don't remember missing one, but that's what they have them for officially.
You see the numbers and the measurables on Tevin Glass. Okay. Well, you see the suspended Milton player over there, the guard, man, and talk a little bit about that, Herb, and the fact that he's not here.
Well, he was suspended. He got 2 technical fouls in the quarterfinal game, and according to Georgia High School Association rules, you have to sit out the next 2 ball games. And there was some controversy about it. I was reading some of it on the Bulldog website. Of course, he signed to go to the University of Georgia, so some of the fans were saying saying that the second foul was not worthy. But you know, you got to be smart.
Milton with the token pressure, and they force a turnover.
And hopefully the young man learns a lesson out of it. But he's a quality guy. It's just lost his head for a moment.
Jalen Patterson out top to Coleman. Nolte spots up, misses. And the rebound taken down by Patterson. He backs it up, giving it to Coleman. Coleman moving around. Trapped, but backed out. Now turns it over now to give it to Patterson. Patterson way out top. Goes in the corner to Johnson, who's going to launch a 3. And he misses. And the rebound controlled by Savannah. The bust out. And that is Jermaine Williams. Jermaine Williams over on the right side is going to launch a 3 and miss it. The rebound by Savannah, the Blue Jackets, I should say, excuse me. And that is Devin Holmes, who gets out top to Jason Lawton. Lawton inside, and the layup, and he blowed the chippy. He blew it, and that was Chris Coakley. My goodness, you got to make those baskets.
Well, they're going to get 2 shots, but you're right. Some nice interior passing, though, and I like Savannah's guys inside. They can get that first step, and they look for their teammates, and they're doing a good job in the post if they can find some way to slow Milton's outside game down.
We said the Blue Jackets coming in out of Region 3, and they're 5A. They got to be able to defend here tonight, and they can't turn it over.
Well, they just don't. I don't think they can match up with Milton man-to-man, so they're going to have to stay in that zone probably, but they may have to extend it out a little further.
Get a shot of Coach Jordan. His team trailing by 10.
And all
2 missed free throws.
They're precious in this game for Savannah.
Nolte with the rebound to Patterson. That's Johnson in the corner, and that is Evan Coleman. Coleman stuck on the baseline, backs it out to Johnson. Johnson goes inside, but the ball is stolen away. Went to Lewis, and in transition, and Savannah counted and won. That was Chris Coakley in the open floor.
Nice controlled break there, Gil.
Take a look at it. Take us through.
Again, the key on the break is just maintaining control. And they did a nice job, 2 passes and the bucket.
And of course, the Blue Jackets got here by virtue of their win on Wednesday night over Alpharetta, 51-46. And Milton just destroyed Harrison, 72-52 in a big third quarter. Nolte throws it cross court, and that's Patterson. Over to Coleman. To Nolte, he spots up for a 3. He misses. The rebound and the outlet, but stolen away and regained back and whistles.
They're going to get a foul on Milton.
Looked like Patterson is diving for the basketball.
Oh, they're going to give it to Lawton. Excuse me.
He and Lawton were both going after it. You're right. Second foul on Coakley. So they'll inbound it. Milton will inbound it sideline left. And Shaq Johnson will be the one who gets it in. He gets it into Jalen Patterson. That's Coleman. Goes over to Patterson, who launches a three and got it. Red hot three-point shooting by Milton right now, and the lead is 11.
Well, that 1-3-1 zone, you find the spots on it, you're going to get some open looks.
The Blue Jackets are struggling to get in their half-court set. 19-8, under a minute to go. Take a look at the three. Perfect form. Nobody could shoot it better than Herb White.
Well, you see the guy split in the seam there, and that's what you want to do. You get in there, and then you're going to find the open man with one pass, either on the wing or the baseline.
All right, the difference in this ball game right now is from the land of Trey. Milton 5 of 8 from three-point land. Courtesy of our outstanding statistician, Kevin Barnes.
And Savannah steps on the inline, so it'll go over.
Another turnover. And the Blue Jackets just continue to struggle. I think a little rattled early. And once they get settled down, they'll be able to climb back in this thing. But right now they're down 11, 19-8 and employing some token pressure. Milton's able to break it, but they struggle with it, and the ball's turned over.
Now the key is don't turn it back over.
Jermaine Williams, and he's struggling, driving, dishes off, and right there to knock it out of bounds was Evan Coleman. So Savannah, the Blue Jackets, will regain possession, and it'll be Jermaine Williams on the inbounds. He gets it in and going up strong and missing it, but going up again and having it rejected was Kayvon Freeman.
I don't know if Glasser.
Take a look at the replay.
We'll see right here. It looks like it's no.
Shaquille Johnson with the reject. The inbounds and struggling with it, but he's still able to control it. Is Naquan Chisholm. Chisholm out top. He's guarded by Coleman. Works against him. Goes outside. And then they try on the trail. And the trail was intended for Kayvon Freeman, and he blew it. Milton the other way. Driving. Evan Coleman backs out. Gives it to Johnson. Over on the right side and launching a three ball, and to no avail. That was Jalen Patterson. The rebound controlled by the Blue Jackets, and we're going the other way. And launching a three ball right there at the buzzer. To no good was Jamal Norman. We'll be right back after these very important messages. We're the end of one. Milton up 11. 5A state championship for the boys on the line. We'll be right back here on the great GPB.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The Atlanta Dream, Atlanta's back-to-back Eastern Conference champions and Atlanta Sports Council's Team of the Year, is back at Phillips Arena on May 25th with 2012 Olympic hopefuls Angel McCoughtry and Lindsey Harding, and Brazilian Olympian Erica de Souza. It's the Dream's 5th anniversary season this summer at Phillips Arena. Ticket information at atlantadream.net or 877-977-7729. Run with the Dream.
Regions Bank is proud to sponsor the Directors Cup, a year-long competition encompassing all girls and boys sports in every region and classification throughout Georgia. The winning schools are honored for their sustained and overall athletic achievement. Please join us in celebrating this year's Regions Directors Cup winners, because at Regions Bank, we believe in working together to build better communities.
Competing, learning, achieving. Sportsmanship builds character on the field and off. As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
Should I spend lots of money on expensive repair bills to fix that old car, or just donate it to PBS? I've got a money pit or an easy solution.
You're watching GPB, television worth sharing.
Back here at the start of the second quarter, Gil Tyree, along with Herb White. And Milton right now living large on the land of three. One Herb White take us through.
All right, fans, let's count them off as we see them go. 1, Shaq Johnson deep. 2,
Jalen Patterson and then Johnson. And then my man Evan Coleman. And how about Mr. Nolte?
Yeah, that's 4. They got another one in them? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. And that was Jalen Patterson again. And right now, they are shooting 6 of 14 for 43%. And Savannah right now, 4 of 16 for 25%. But Savannah really struggling late, Herb. 1 out of their last 7.
Well, and they're getting some good looks. Most of the shots they're missing are inside. Of course, you got Shaq Johnson and Shaquille Johnson, and you got Tevin Glass in there and Evan Nolte all around 6'6" to 6'8", so it makes it tough on you. But Savannah's getting some looks. They got to try to knock them down, and I don't know what they're going to do defensively. So if Coach Jordan decides to change something up, see if he can stop the raining of the threes.
Naquan Chisholm with the entry pass right in front of us. And then they went over, and he passed to Javante Spivey, who was stumbling and bumbling in the end zone. I mean, not the end zone, excuse me, the lane, and was almost turned it over and was fouled. Step back jumper and good. That is a nice play by Javante Spivey. And it's now a 19-10 ball game. Savannah with the press, but Milton able to break it.
Well,
Tevin Glass driving to the lane.
Like he got a lot of ball, but again, he came down hard, and the official called it. Here, let's take another look at it. See if
Basil with the foul. Basil with the foul, and take us through.
Well, they called it. Anyhow, Savannah looked like you think they would look, never having been up here in Atlanta. I mean, they're the first team from out of Atlanta to play in the state championship since '98 when Savannah did it again. So they looked a little tight and a little rushed in that first quarter. And if they can calm down a little bit, because that's definitely what you don't want to do against Milton, because they've been here so many times. They're playing relaxed.
Tevin Glass makes both of them, and it's 21-10 now, and pressure applied by Milton. But Savannah able to break it and driving coast to coast and missing the lay-in was Naquan Chisholm. And right there for the follow-up to get it in and to try to make a basket was David Basil. Take a look at it. And you see the entry and the drive right there by Chisholm, and Basil right there, Johnny, on the spot. First one by Basil, no good.
Well, you saw him having to arch his shot even higher than he wanted to as he drove to that hoop because of Tevin Glass and Shaq Johnson again.
Called Glass that time and got it. 21-11 now. 10-point lead enjoyed by Milton, able to break the press. That's Glass to Johnson on the dunk on the baseline. And just like that, you're able to figure it out. You get it across the timeline, and you're able to get a dunk out of it. 23-11 now, 7:08 in the second quarter. Getting close to halftime. And driving is Spivey. And he loses it out of bounds, but it's knocked off a Milton player. So Savannah will regain possession. You take a look at this. Take us through her.
Well, if Shaq Johnson gets anywhere around the basket, he's going to finish. One of the great finishers, and you're going to see a lot of that over the next 4 years, you SEC fans, as he's going to Auburn.
Ball stolen away by Milton. That's Nolte ahead of everybody. Lays it up, the whistle. It doesn't go, but he'll go to the line. Right now, Milton is able to do anything they wanted to. I mean, they're able to run their offense. They're turning it up for Coach Boyd defensively, forcing turnovers. And we said one of the keys going into this basketball game was the fact that Savannah could ill afford to get into a situation where they panic and they can't turn it over. They can't, and they have to defend, and they have not been able to defend the three. Nolte.
Milton's just a great team, similar to Miller Grove. They play all over the country all year long. It's great competition, and even though it's a state championship game, they've been here so many times. They're able to play relaxed, and that really makes a big difference.
And that's showing right now. You see Famble, and he drove, and he loses control of it, and the ball on the floor, and retained by Milton. And it was Evan Coleman who got poked in the eye. And the foul is on Basil. That's his second. That's Glass. The alley-oop to Johnson. Oh, he almost made it. And the follow-up, no good by Glass. We go the other way. Helter-skelter right now. Driving all the way to the rack and laying it up and in and out was Javante Spivey.
Jalen Patterson absolutely had a layup down on this other end. Could have scored, but he wanted to throw up another jump for Shaq Johnson.
25-11 right now. Nolte gets it into Coleman. Coleman backs it out, working against Spivey. To Johnson out high, the two-man game with Coleman. Now to a roving Johnson, and they got Nolte over the top trying to get the rebound on the follow.
Well, Savannah has gone man-to-man in the last couple minutes, tried to calm down that three-point shooting.
Keep an eye on that. That's Nolte's third, so he goes to the bench quickly. And I doubt we'll see him the rest of this quarter.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Boyd's going to panic and feel like he's got to get him back in with a 14-point lead. But the man-to-man has stopped the three-point shooting. Unfortunately, it hasn't stopped the two-point dunking.
25-11 in the second quarter here, our final game of the Gwinnett portion of championship weekend.
Well, and it's not so much that Savannah just has to score some points. I mean, Milton's defense is underrated. They really get after you, and again, they can intimidate a lot of shots inside, especially if you don't have a lot of size, and Savannah doesn't.
Flamble into Spivey. Spivey working against Coleman. Drives. Puts it off Glass. No good. Tip up. No good. The rebound controlled by Milton. Regained by Savannah. Knocked out of bounds by Mo Lewis. So it will be Savannah basketball. They'll inbound it underneath their basket. Shooting a three ball deep in the corner. In and out. The follow no good. That was Jamal Norman. And it's rejected again, and still fighting for it inside, and falling down on the ground was Norman.
Well, the Blue Jackets putting up some offensive rebounding numbers, but they can't get anything to go down. You can't discredit their effort, though. They're giving it a lot of effort and a lot of heart. They just got to knock down some shots, and they need to knock down some free throws. They haven't made one yet, I don't believe.
Second foul on Mo Lewis. Jamal Norman at the line. Made the first, they'll try it again. And he misses that one. Jalen Patterson with the rebound, slows it down. He'll walk it over the timeline. Under 6 minutes to go until halftime here in the 5A state championship game. Milton out by 13, 25-12. We're glad to have you with us here on GPB. In traffic is Coleman. They spot a trailer, Glass, and he is hacked big time. As they got ball movement, Herb, they are able to move around. Nobody gets trapped in the corners. Everybody's moving.
Well, it's just great. A well-coached team. You saw, you're right, Gil. As soon as they went to the double team, Glass makes his cut to the basket. And they're always going to have somebody cutting if there's a double team. They're just so well coached.
We just jinxed them before that free throw. Milton was 6 of 6 from the line, and Glass just broke that string. So they're now 6 of 7. And 6 of 8.
And they got Shaq Johnson for the foul on that one, I believe. Push off.
That's Shaquille's first, the team's 8th.
Does he prefer to be called Shaquille over Shaq? Or do you know?
Right now, we're calling him
Mr. Johnson.
Either or. Mr. Johnson is exactly right. Going to the line for Savannah. The Blue Jackets will be Jermaine Williams. Puts it up and in. It is now a 25-13 ball game.
Well, again, it's a manageable lead. They need to cut this lead down under double digits before halftime, and to do that, they've got to continue to play tough defense and get quality shots down on this end, and they can crawl back into this ball game.
He missed the second. And Milton gets the rebound. Under pressure and breaking it is Evan Coleman. That's Patterson. They try to double him. He gets it to Coleman, who got it to Glass, who got it to Lewis. Lewis struggling with the basketball. They're trying to get a negotiation in a half-court set, spinning. Circus move up net. Great shot by Mo Lewis to bail him out, and they get a steal. Does Milton drive into the lane out of control? Was Evan Coleman. Take a look at this.
And he took a little punishment on this one. Bingo, bingo, couple of knocks, and he still got it to go down.
Coleman called for the offensive charge, and keep an eye on those fouls for Milton because they're starting to tally up with key players. Nolte sitting on the bench with 3. They're already in the penalty. Spinning around and trying to negotiate inside, but missing the chippy was Kayvon Freeman.
Well, Freeman's able to get in flight with that big body of his. He's just having a tough time knocking down the chippies, like you say.
Right, they just can't buy a basket. Well, I'll tell you what, our statistician here tonight, Kevin Barnes, is going to have a chore because I'm sure he's adding it up those percentages on missed shots. The drive by Patterson and the follow by Lewis is knocked out of bounds.
I think they got
and then there was a foul, yes.
Well, Milton doesn't lose much when they go 3 or 4 deep on their bench. David Boyd's got 8 or 9 guys that he uses a lot, and they all step in there. And again, being well coached, they just fill that slot.
Chase Coleman in the basketball game. And shooting 2 will be Mo Lewis. First shot, no good.
And we're certainly not saying Savannah's not a well-coached team either. You don't get to the state championship game if you're not a well-coached team. But they've just had a little bit of the jitters, I think, playing in the state championship. And again, they really don't have those superstars that can score those points easily, so they really have to scramble.
Lewis makes his second. That'll make it 28-13. 15-point lead enjoyed by Milton here tonight. Closing in on the 4-minute mark until halftime. Jamal Norman trying to get inside, and the ball's knocked out of bounds. And it will be the possession will be regained by Savannah. So we're going to take a break with the score, 28-13. Milton over Savannah. We'll be right back after these very important messages on GPB.
Everybody just have a good time.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
We strongly believe in training the leaders of tomorrow. That's why we're proud to be part of Georgia High School Association program. Farm Bureau is a nonprofit organization serving our state for nearly 75 years. While we focus on farmers in rural Georgia, our benefits are available to all, from insurance to health programs to popular discount programs.
Georgia Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best.
Milton enjoying a 28-13 lead as we approach halftime here, under 4 minutes to go. We take a look at the resumes right now. You look at Milton, we talked about it up top. What a job David Boyd has done. Sure, Boyd.
Yeah, they lost some games when they had the young teams when these guys first started out, and then played some pretty good teams in Wheeler and Norcross, of course, that lost state championships. But David Boyd has always got his teams competitive, and it doesn't matter what school he's at.
And we need to add on there, David Boyd is 2 away from the 600 win mark. Getting it done, we go on the other side, and we take a look at what Tim Jordan has been able to accomplish with the Blue Jacket program, and of course 29th Final Four. Take a look at 12 state championships, and the list goes on and on here, boy.
Yeah, and we talk a little bit about it because Savannah does have all homegrown players, and when we're talking about that, I think it's pretty well known that over the last 10 years, especially in the Atlanta area at some of the bigger schools, there's been a lot of transfer, and a lot of kids will transfer to another program where they think they're going to have a better chance to win a state championship, or they want to go play for a particular coach. And, that didn't happen up until really the late 90s, and that's when Savannah won the last state title. And now you have, some schools around Atlanta that attract a lot of the top talent, and it just makes it tough for schools that are not in Atlanta and not competing against those guys to come in and win a state championship. So you got to give Savannah a lot of credit to get to this ball game.
Let's take a look at some stats you got, courtesy of our great statistician here tonight, Kevin Barnes. What jumps out at you right now?
Well, the second quarter, Savannah was 1 for 5 on field goals. Milton was 2 for 6. So they did slow them down a little bit with that man-to-man defense. And three-pointers, I think Savannah was 0 for 2 and Milton 5 for 10. So they have stopped the three-point shooting, but Milton's still been able to score. But again, it's mainly that Savannah cannot put the ball in the hoop. Because they're really holding Milton down pretty well compared to their regular scoring average.
Jermaine Williams triggers the inbound, and the alley-oop was Jamal Norman. And just like that, the lead is now down to 13, 28-15, Milton. That's Patterson driving, gets it high, arching shot, no good. And the rebound and fought for was Shaq Johnson with the follow, 30-15. Shaq Johnson, of course, headed to Auburn. Tony Barbie's gotten in the Metro Atlanta area and recruiting, hasn't he? Launching up a three and knocking it down was Jamal Norman.
Well, that's big for Savannah right there. They got to keep this lead from getting any bigger before they go in at halftime and keep some hope alive that they can come back in this ball game and settle down in the second half.
Jalen Patterson over the glass to Patterson. Patterson out top, working against Jermaine Williams. Over on the right side right now to Shaq Johnson. Shaq Johnson's going to launch a three. Doesn't get it. The rebound is controlled by Savannah. They're going the other way. And driving right now, and that's Jamal Norman, is going to negotiate the basketball in the lane. The lead now 10 for Milton, and I feel a Savannah run.
Well, a couple of stops, and this could really be a little bit of a run, a 5-0 run right now.
Struggling with the basketball, and tripped was Tevin Glass. Take a look at the Savannah basket, Herb.
Pull-up jumper, kind of a lost art, that mid-range jumper, but a nice controlled break.
And a nice length. The ability to get up and then put it behind your head and launching it up so it doesn't get blocked. Nice play by Jamal Norman. 30-20 right now. And on the line is Tevin Glass for David Boyd's Milton Eagles. First shot, up and no good. And the rebound taken down by Savannah.
Well, you really want to get a good shot here. If you can get this down below 10 points, that's a huge psychological factor.
Javante Spivey drove the lane, but the whistle in the hat. And because Milton's in the penalty, Herb White, Spivey will go to the line. He'll get 2 shots.
And again, if they can crack this 10-point barrier and maybe even get it down less than that before halftime, then we have ourselves a ball game, Gil.
And for Coleman, Evan Coleman, that's number 3.
And you can just see Savannah kind of settling in and starting to relax and feel like they can play with these guys.
You see the measurables and the numbers on Javante Spivey, part of the great Blue Jackets program, and they're getting it done down there in Savannah. Coach Jordan and company. Savannah employing the press. Milton, no problems with it as they're crossing the timeline. With the basketball is Lewis, tied up, and he stepped on the line, a turnover.
And another huge opportunity. Get down there and you can cut this thing to a 2-possession game, and well, that's just great defense by Savannah. Now come down again with a quality shot.
Just saw the outstanding coach for Savannah, Tim Jordan, and driving the lane and out of control of Spivey. Milton got numbers. I feel like,
that's just what you don't want, man. You got a little bit out of control. You had a chance to cut it down to 6 points. Instead, you turn it over, and Shaq Johnson gets the Milton fans on their feet.
Shaq Johnson on the bust out, and another steal. And we're going up the way again, and it's going to be another chippy. Hello! And just like that, the lead goes back to double digits, 34-22. Milton out in front, under 2 to go until halftime. Mark Harmon and Jackie Britton standing by. And of course, the slam dunk competition going on here on GPB. Milton with the rebound. That's Lewis diving on the floor.
They're going to give it to Milton. They're going to call a foul on Lewis, I believe.
Here's Shaq dunk in the open floor. Hello!
He left from outside the free throw lane that time, about 1.5 feet. And
he won the slam dunk competition on that high flying flush.
You know what I like about Shaq? He's that 2-footed power leaper like Dominique and some other people I've seen. It's just love to see those guys go up strong off 2 feet like that.
Big hops. You saw Lewis diving on the floor. Kayvon Freeman was right there with him. But they spot Lewis on the foul, so Freeman will go to the line. His team trailing by 12, 34-22. Gil Tyree, Herb White, and our great crew from GPB. And of course, we'll make the drive down to Macon. And our coverage starts at 9 a.m. Breakfast with us, with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Starting with 9 a.m. and the wheelchair basketball game. And then we'll take you right through until the late hours on Saturday night with yours truly and Herb White in the 3A championship game. But John Nelson and my good buddy Sean Golden and Fletcher Proctor and Bob Houghton are standing by, along with Nicky Noto. They're down in Macon getting ready for us.
It's an all-star crew.
There you go. Two-man game employed by Milton. Is spotted by Lewis, no good. The rebound taken down by Savannah as we go the other way. And driving, baseline, pulling up for a jumper. And the missed shot right there was Jamal Norman. Milton with the basketball. Here's Shaq Thompson. Baseline. And the dunk. And that's what they are going to see on the Plains. He's headed with Tony Barbie.
Well, if I'm Savannah, I hold for one shot here.
The lead is 13, under 30.
You've already really made a mess of finishing up this half by turning the ball over and taking a couple of bad shots when you could have got it down to a 2-possession game. So make sure you get one good shot here.
Almost a steal. And driving, and they'll almost dropped, and that was Famble. I'll tell you what, this kid is unbelievable. Look at the high rise at. Herb White, how did he get away from Georgia and Georgia Tech, huh? How did he get out of state?
There's so many good ones. You can't keep them all in bounds. These kids are being watched by programs from all over the country.
I'm sure he knows a lot of War Eagle. War Eagle headed down to the Plains.
Well, this game certainly could have been a lot worse for Savannah. I mean, it looked like it was going to go away. Of course, Evan Nolte went to the bench, and that might have slowed down Milton a little bit, but really think Savannah missed their chance to get this thing down under double digits before halftime.
Right. The lead is 12, 36-24, with 8 ticks to go until halftime. And like I said, we got this slam dunk competition. Don't go away. Stay right with us. And Mark Harmon, Jackie Britton, and cast of thousands. Like I said, a great crew, an outstanding crew at GPB, bringing you the best of high school basketball and high school sports here in the great state of Georgia.
Well, another mistake by Savannah. I don't want to be critical. You know, these are high school kids, but you got 8 or 9 seconds on the scoreboard. You don't want to commit a foul out around half court. You want to get back and play solid defense and try to make them take a bad shot before halftime, not put them on the free throw line.
Justin Cornegie on the line. He missed the first. He misses the second. And Shaq Johnson trying to get the rebound. 5 seconds to go, 4. They're going to launch up a prayer at the buzzer. Will it go? No. And that's it for halftime. Milton 36 and Savannah 24. We've reached the intermission of the 5A state championship game between the Milton Eagles and the Blue Jackets of Savannah. Standing by right now with Coach David Boyd is our Lindsay Theory. Lindsay?
Coach, you go into the break with a 12-point lead. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I felt like we did a pretty good job handling their pressure. We've got to do a little bit better job defensively and keep them off the glass. We were lunging a little bit too much, gambling a little bit too much. We got to play a little bit more solid defense, but got a little foul trouble, so we're not super deep, but I felt like we held in there pretty well.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Mark, let's go to you.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. We are at the halftime of the boys 5A state championship game, and coming up, a first for championship weekend, we will have the first slam dunk exhibition coming your way. We will also have the first half highlights and stats, so don't touch that dial. The big halftime slam dunk extravaganza is coming up, and I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss it.
Release.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More.
More to come.
More Wilson.
The basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come.
Class 2A state championship. Where are you going? I'm going back to high school.
Your dreams come.
Rock legend Ronnie Spector and John Bowser Bauman bring your favorite rock, pop, and doo-wop memories back to the stage in an all-new My Music PBS special.
Tuesday at 8:30 on GPB.
It is halftime of the boys 5A state championship game, and right now we welcome in the principal of Savannah High School, Dr. Tony Jordan. Thank you so much for being here.
Having us.
I understand you guys had about a 3-hour drive all the way up here.
Yes, ma'am, about a 3.5-hour drive.
Well, tell us what's been going on over at Savannah High School.
Well, you know, this past week has been phenomenal. The community has been behind the school. The students are very excited about making it to this level of competition, and we're all excited. It's been a great week.
Well, what new things are going on? You were talking about a criminal justice program that you...
Yes, ma'am. We have several different pathways, career pathways at our school, and one is the Law and Criminal Justice program, where students will actually choose a career field in criminal justice.
Wow.
And actually get a chance to get out and spend some time in that actual field.
That's great.
We had 10 students to travel to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to spend 2 weeks at Southern University School of Law.
Great. Well, best of luck to the rest of good luck for the rest of that program. Now we are going to play a game that's a little bit different than what we usually do, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. So it's now time to name the poisonous mushroom that is going to appear on that screen, and I'll give you a little bit of information about it, see if you can guess what it is. It is generally considered poisonous. However, deaths, there it is right there.
Okay.
However, deaths from its consumption are extremely rare, and it's eaten as a food in parts of Europe, Asia, and North America after parboiling. So is it A, B, or C, false morels, amanita, or is it a jack-o'-lantern?
I want to call a friend.
Unfortunately, you don't have that option, but it's okay. Just take a jab at it.
Let's go with A.
It's actually B, Amanita.
That was going to be my second answer.
Well, I'll believe you. I will believe you on that. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Now it is time to check in with Mark and Herb for the first ever AJC GPB Slam Dunk exhibition. Guys? Thank you. That was really good. Oh, it's a game.
Goodwin of Southwest DeKalb was one. Dawson Womack, who is suited up here from North Cobb Christian, is the other. And Chris Bolden from North Gwinnett is injured right now, but he's going to help us all out. Alongside Herb White, the elevator from Decatur. You played for the Hawks. You played for the University of Georgia. What goes into making a big slam jam?
Well, you need to be loose and warm. For one thing, I feel sorry for these guys having to come out of the stands in a cold gym and get out here and try to slam some down, but they're giving it the best effort, and they're looking pretty good right now.
All right, Dawson, come on over here and tell us what your first dunk is going to be. What's your first dunk going to be?
A windmill.
All right, we got the windmill going. Go ahead and do it for us. All right, that's a great one. Let's hear it for Dawson Womack. And let's check in with John Nelson, who's sitting by with some fans in the stands.
We are here, and they are supporting the high, but let's find out. Scale of 1 to 10 for me. What'd you think of that dunk?
Well, I think I'll give him about a 7. I believe he had very good elevation on his jump.
Okay.
I think I'll give him about an 8.
Okay, so we're averaging a 7.5 up here in the stands after dunk number 1. What about dunk number 2, Mark?
All right, let's check in with Chris right now. Now, Chris, talk a little about what you go through when you go up there for what you think about when you go up for a big slam jam.
Making it.
That'll work. That'll work. All right, Dawson, what are you going to do for number 2 here for us?
Between the legs.
All right, here you go. Take it away. Hey, try that one again. Herb, you were known to be quite a dunker in your day.
Yeah, and you know what? When I was, after my freshman year in college, they outlawed the dunk. Couldn't dunk for the next 3 years just so I wouldn't be able to throw some down.
That was called the Herb White rule, right?
No, I think it was called the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar rule.
All right, let's go with John Nelson right now.
All right, let's talk about the college try. What'd you think about? A for effort, what are we doing?
-0. I give him an 8 for effort.
He'll get a 3.
Okay, that's your rule. Mark and Herb, what about that one?
Dawson, you want to try a different one for us? Want to try another one for us?
Yeah, I'll try between them.
All right, let's go. Herb, who was the greatest dunker you ever saw?
Boy, that's a good one. I'd say Dr. J was probably the best I ever saw about the time I was playing. He had it all.
Well, that's a pretty good one. You got Michael Jordan, you got Dr. J.
But I want to say again, Mark, it's very difficult to come out here when you haven't been warmed up really for quite a while and get out here and start trying to throw down slam dunks. So.
Here, let's give a hand here. Uh-oh, we need a little help. All right. Thanks very much. Let's try one more for you, Dawson. Let's see if you get one more dunk going for us.
I will tell you this. I saw these guys slam dunking on film when they were warmed up at practice, and both of them were putting on some pretty impressive throwdowns.
There you go. Listen, let's give a big hand to both Chris Bolden and Dawson Womack for putting on a dunk exhibition for us. We really appreciate it, guys. And let's go back to Jackie.
All right, well, that was a tough act to follow, but we will move on. We bring in now the principal of Milton High School, Mr. Cliff Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you tell us about the school spirit here, because you guys have a great presence here at the championships, but has it been this way all week?
It has been a spirited crowd all week. Both the faculty and the staff and the students have been not only in one spirit, but loud and behind our basketball team, and we're just so proud of them.
Well, great. Well, as you know from earlier, we're going to play a little game, and you get Know Your Prehistoric Behemoths. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about it, but a picture will pop up on the screen. This creature, or this dinosaur, stood more than 16 feet tall and weighed 1.5 tons. He had a toothless beak and his head, and he had a head and a short tail for balance. But anyway, that's the picture of it right there. Is it A, B, or C? You know, to be honest, those are really hard pronunciations, so I'm going to let you take a jab at one of the letters over there.
Which one do you think I'm going to have to go with the rooster raptor.
Oh.
Just because of the head.
Well, it's actually a Gigantoraptor.
Of course it was.
But thank you anyway so much for playing. It was a pleasure. All right, now when we come back, it's time for the first half highlights and stats as we get ready for the second half of the boys 5A state championship game. It's all coming up right here, right after this timeout. Thank you, that
was good. Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The Mabel Reader Foundation.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
As a strong, stable bank, we're always looking for opportunities to boost the vitality of our communities by supporting local events and finding financial solutions for our customers in all economic times. Regions is proud to be a partner with Georgia Public Broadcasting in building a better Georgia.
Legend Ronnie Spector and John Bowser Bauman bring your favorite rock, pop, and doo-wop memories back to the stage in an all-new My Music PBS special.
Tuesday at 8:30 on GPB.
The Basketball High School Championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
You're watching GPB, television worth sharing.
All right, now we are going to send it over to the fabulous Gil Tyree and Herb White for the second half of the 5A championship game. Guys, take it away.
Jackie Brutwell, we say thank you. And, of course, we're at halftime here at in Duluth right now, and Milton right now enjoying their lead over Savannah. And let's check in now with our Lindsay Theory, who's standing by with Coach Jordan. Lindsay?
Coach, you had the chance there at the end of the first half to pull within 2-possession game. Would you say there's a few missed opportunities?
Oh, yeah, we got to take advantage of this opportunity against a great team like Milton. Had missed some free throws down the stretch, and they had a couple of easy transition buckets. So we got to do a better job with our transition defense and make free throws.
They've got a few guys in foul trouble. How do you take advantage of that?
Well, we hope that we can get some of the main guys out and let them go to the bench. I think we have a little deeper bench than they do, and if we can get to their bench, we have a chance to win this.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And that's the point. And we say thanks, Coach Jordan, taking time out of his busy schedule, and, of course, talking to our Lindsay Theory. And we said that up top. Savannah has a long bench, and that could loom large in this basketball game. By no means are they out of it here at Duluth. Let's take a look at some of the first half of this basketball game here tonight. Herb White, take us through.
Well, here's Savannah getting inside early, as we talked about, and they got a couple of the early ones to go down inside, and then they missed quite a few around the hoop later.
And then it belonged to Shaq Johnson, and I'll tell you something. They got to be very excited in what they're getting coming over Auburn when you take a look at these pictures. Off the bus stop in the trailer, and a big fella right in your living room. A high fly act. We should have had him in the dunk contest. In fact, Milton Nation said, Shaq, we want you. We want you to come out there.
Well, that's you got to pity those guys come out cold out of the stands for a slam dunk contest to follow Shaq Johnson after he's been throwing them down the first half. And here's your stats: field goals. Milton shooting pretty well, close to 50%, 13 for 28. And again, a lot of missed inside shots by Savannah, 8 for 27. And the rebounds surprised me a little bit because I thought Savannah got quite a few offensive rebounds. But when you look at the stats, and when watching that first half, Savannah's really lucky to be within 12, although, again, they could have been a lot closer if they'd have played a little better down the stretch in that first half. So first 5 minutes real important here for the Blue Jackets.
And the missed shot by Savannah. And we're going the other way with Milton and Glass on a trail and the flush. Here's a kid who has offers from Georgia Southern in Jacksonville, and you can see why. 38-24 right now. Milton, the first basket here in the second half. Savannah in the half-court set and struggling with the basketball.
Well, Milton's gone to the 1-3-1 trap now. So they're going to double team in the corners, and whenever Savannah picks the ball up.
Spivey to Chisholm. Back to Spivey, who drives, cut off there, and a turnover. And Johnson on the bust out. He drives around, lays it up, and falls down. Is he okay? Getting up slowly.
Well, Naquan Chisholm was going to have no more of those dunks on his watch.
Take a look at this dunk. Herb White, nobody could do it better than the high riser from Decatur.
Well, Defon Glass manages to hold on to that ball going down the middle and throws it down.
And of course, we said Glass is being looked at by Georgia Southern. And Carlton Young is doing a great job down there. And then JU at Jacksonville. My good buddy Cliff Warren, who was formerly assistant to Paul Hewitt at Georgia Tech, went down to Jacksonville. And knows the Metro Atlanta area and still has contacts up here in his recruitment. And his free throw. And we go the other way with Savannah. That's Chisholm over to Spivey. They play the two-man game. Trying to negotiate inside and spinning around and whirling around is Freeman. And he is tied up. And the ball's still on the floor. Back out. Pull-up jumper. No good by Famble. And Walton with the rebound. We go the other way. Pushing it up the floor and stolen away from Patterson. In front of us right now is Famble. He gets the ball stolen away. Sloppy play here early on. Going up for the dunk. And dunk you very much baseline.
Well, the big man Basil took that one strong to the hoop.
Yes, he did. 38-26. Savannah still hanging around. Negotiating around traffic is Coleman. Nolte goes cross court right now. Over to Patterson. Patterson backs it out. The Milton Eagles with a 12-point lead here early on in the third quarter. And we have a turnover right now on Shaquille Johnson.
Nice strong move by Basil here on the baseline, taking it up. And flushing it.
Spivey inbounds it to Chisholm. They play the two-man game and goes over the right side and jumping and hop stump jumping and getting the jumper falling away. It's Famble. The lead now 11. Or correct, that lead now 10. 38-28. Under 6 to go in the third quarter. You saw Milton struggling as he crossed the timeline, but he gets it across. That's Coleman. Still working against Spivey. Back out to Patterson. Over on the right side to Johnson. The entry pass into Glass. Goes Glass and gets it blocked, swatted away. And the ball fought for by Milton and Savannah. And Milton is going to retain possession. Herb White.
Savannah trying to turn up the defensive heat, really getting out and scrapping now. They got to be careful they don't give up an easy basket, but almost created the turnover then. And a couple of stops and scores, and we got us a ball game here.
There you go. The inbounds from Johnson looking for Nolte, who was roaming the baseline, and knocked out of bounds by Savannah. So Milton will retain possession.
You got to give Coach Jordan credit for he saw those three-pointers were killing him, and he switched his defenses, and they have been able to stop that and get back in the ball game. So good job there by Tim Jordan.
Well, you know better than anybody. This game is about adjustments, and you saw the nice cut by Nolte. He banks it in, hacks it, and one. Let's take a look at the inbounds.
Well, we have some confusion here. Are they saying Nolte pushed off before he made the cut?
Well, you saw the glance afterwards. You saw the trash talking.
Well, I didn't hear him say anything, but he certainly gave him the stare. I think that's what they got Charles Mann for on his second one the other night, was the stare down.
Well, then Nolte will go to the line. And he misses.
And they're going to go the other end and shoot free throws, so that's what they did.
Call what they call technical. Right? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it, because you're going to see Famble and Nolte, and watch Nolte stare down afterwards, and both of them exchanging a glare, and the referees were right on it and said, enough of this.
I think that's a little excessive when you're starting to call the stares. I don't know. There was no words passed, so.
But Herb, give the officials credit for at least recognizing it and saying, listen, we're going to cut it out, because, you know, so much now is, you know, with college and with the pros, and these kids see this stuff and they imitate.
Okay, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that the way you look at somebody is a technical, but I'll give it to you.
Over the spies, down low to Freeman, and he lays it up and in. Savannah cuts the lead now. They got it under double digits. It's now 8. Milton out in front, 5:05 here in the third quarter. Jalen Patterson working against Chisholm. Backing him out, the screen set by Glass, and the pick and pop. Counter. Two-man game, worked to perfection, 42-32 now.
Keep getting quality looks. That's what you need to do now.
To Chisholm.
There's one.
And there's Famble driving. And getting tangled was Johnson and Freeman. And Freeman called for an offensive foul. It's first. Take a look at it. Herb White, tell me what you see.
Well, I didn't see. Yeah, he did. He lowered the shoulder, knocked him down.
Big body. 42-32.
Didn't need to either.
Eagles ahead of the Blue Jackets, and the ball just went over our heads. And Kevin Barnes, you should have made it. You should have made the catch. Right to our statistician, Kevin Barnes.
Well, he was busy writing down a stat, or he would have had it.
You get a look. There's Kevin Barnes, our MVP. Only kidding with you. You know we love you, GPB. Much love, my friend. Much love. Taking a jump shot and getting his own rebound was Spivey. But Milton is going to go the other way. And Glass to the rack. And a whistle. So Glass will go to the line. If you just joined us, we've crowned champions already. This is our final game of the Gwinnett portion. And of course, the arena at the Gwinnett Center, they're doing a great job in hosting this. They got to get ready for a gladiator game tomorrow, Herb White. And then on Monday, arena football. The Georgia 4 starts play. But we're going to head on down to Macon. We got a crew standing by. Of course, Fletcher Proctor and Bob Houghton. Nicky Noto waiting down there. We're getting down there, and we'll be going down there tomorrow. And our great crew down in Macon getting ready for us. And the great city of Macon always very hospitable when we come down. We're looking forward to it. But we've crowned champions here tonight. The Miller Grove girls, the Miller Grove boys. McEachin caps a perfect season. Phyllis Arthur and that crew. And now we await a winner between Savannah and Milton. 43-44, correct me, 32. Milton over Savannah. Under 4 to go here. Driving the lane, and the whistle was Jamal Norman.
Well, you just got to make sure you make that. You got a free path to the basket, and he was anticipating the contact and just didn't concentrate and make the shot. But listen, Gil, this is a 12-point ball game. This is still anybody's game, and I'm impressed with Savannah that they're able to maintain this close a contact with Milton. They just have got to get their offense cranked up a little bit and make a few more shots, because they're actually doing a pretty good job on defense this second half against Milton.
Norman with 8. Now he has 9. And like you said, Herb, they're hanging around. They're hanging around. Tim Jordan and his stingy Blue Jackets. You come up here, made the 3-hour trek, and you heard the principal Jordan talk about it. They came up here and they're excited down south. And we know we got a great, great viewing audience down in Savannah tonight. The entry pass is stolen almost by Milton, and it goes out of bounds.
1-3-1 zone, threw it on him real quick, created a little surprise, and got the turnover.
And a timeout on the floor. 3:53 here in the third. Milton out in front of Savannah, 44-34. We'll be right back after these very, very important messages on the great Georgia Public Broadcasting.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
We strongly believe in training the leaders of tomorrow. That's why we're proud to be part of the Georgia High School Association program. Farm Bureau is a nonprofit organization serving our state for nearly 75 years. While we focus on farmers in rural Georgia, our benefits are available to all, from insurance to health programs to popular discount programs.
Georgia Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best.
Take a trip around the great state of Georgia on Georgia Traveler. From the mountains to the coast, our traveling team explores the state's most beautiful, exciting, and unique treasures. Don't miss Georgia Traveler on the great GPB. That David Zelski is one fantastic guy to watch. He's been hosting that show for years now and does an outstanding job. And nobody outside of Herb White and John Nelson is more passionate about the great state of Georgia than David Zelski, and I'll tell you what, they do a great job on that show.
Well, Georgia's got a lot to be passionate about, no doubt about it, from the mountains to the sea and everything in between. And David always finds some great little places to go and interesting things to do. And you're right, it's just a great show every week, and I'm amazed they can keep coming up with the great shows that they do.
Well, I understand that they got a Dave Hunter hideaway. Now they got a Herb White hideaway. You guys know where to go and get away from it all. Get away from Atlanta and relax. Chill a little bit.
Yeah, well, if you can ever get out of Atlanta, that's the main thing.
You know, Milton was 5 of 10 from the land of Trey in the first quarter, red hot. Since then, nothing. Well, nothing. And it goes back to what you talked about and the adjustments made by Coach Jordan and what he's done on the Savannah bench.
Yeah, they went man to man. Now they're back in the zone, so it'll be interesting to see if Milton's cooled off enough from the three-point distance that they can't make it even against the zone. But big possession here for Savannah. Again, if you can cut that thing down under double digits, then Milton starts looking up there and seeing that it's getting closer. Maybe they start to tighten up a little bit.
Jason Lawton and Jermaine Williams now in the backcourt for the Blue Jackets. That is Williams over to Lawton. Fakes it, head fake. Decides to get it back. They go down low, and a head fake, and up and in is Chris Copeland. The press, a token pressure by the Blue Jackets, giving Milton a little problem right now. The lead down to 8 at 44-36 in the Milton turnover. And Savannah, an opportunity here to cut the lead to 6 and possibly 5. Great defense. Take us through Herb White.
Well, they did. Watch him force a turnover here. Now he fakes at the ball. Nice job. Might have been a little contact, but he got away with it.
That's Lawton. Great passing ball stolen away by Johnson off the bust out drive. And it's almost upended.
It'll be interesting to see what they call there. It might have been intentional.
Here we go, Herb White.
There's Zach Johnson with those quick hands and the athletic ability. Now let's watch the foul.
Hugs that sideline.
They're just going to give him 2 shots. That's okay. And again, Savannah missing the opportunity to get that thing cut down. You just don't want to turn it over in that situation.
Johnson's first shot, no good. And replacing Lawton is Chisholm back in the ball game. Naquan Chisholm. And as we said up top, Coach Jordan not afraid to play that long bench he has. They go 10 deep.
Now they did a good job the time before of taking their time against that zone and working it. And they got a nice inside look, and that's just what they need to do. They got time in this game to work against the zone and get good shots.
45-36. Milton up by 9. Under 3 here in the third quarter. Almost a travel. They back it out. And driving the lane and launching up about a 4-footer was Chisholm. No go. And then the follow-up and the lay-in was made by Jermaine Williams. 45-38. Almost turning the ball over is Milton, but they're able to get across the timeline. Patterson down the lane to Glass.
Well, they're going to make Milton earn the shots from the free throw line. There's nothing wrong with a hard foul to keep a guy from scoring, and here you see it. As long as you're going for the ball and hit the guy up high, there's nothing wrong with going after that. You just got to take that one, Tevin, if you're going to the basket, buddy.
There you go, and the seas parted. And Tevin Glass saw the opening and went down the lane and was hacked. First opportunity at the charity stripe is good. That'll make it 46-38. Double digits now for Tevin Glass, and we set up top a kid who's been recruited by Georgia Southern and JU, Jacksonville University. And Milton calls a timeout. So you take a look right now. What does Herb White see in terms of the ebb and flow of this basketball game right now? What can you tell our viewers that you have observed so far and what to look for as we move forward into the fourth and final period?
Well, I don't think David Boyd's real happy with the way his team's playing, especially when they gave up that offensive rebound a moment ago. And, you know, if I'm Coach Jordan, I'm kind of encouraged with my team because we've managed to hang tough. You know, we gave up some points right there at the end of the half. We got those back, and now we've got it to a 3-possession game. So against Milton's zone defense, they're not going to come out and be real aggressive on it. They will trap you if they feel like they can get you. But if you take your time, just like they did the last 2 out of 3 times, they got a good shot inside. If they can knock those down, then the question is, can they stop Milton on the other end? And Coach Boyd is over there setting up what he wants to do offensively for the rest of this half.
And of course, you know, Herb has talked about it all throughout this broadcast that Milton playing without their suspended guard, Charles Mann, who was ejected early in the playoffs and was suspended for 2 games.
Yeah, and he's a 6'6" point guard, so he's the kind of guy that can look over a defense.
Let's go down to our Lindsay Theory on courtside. Lindsay.
Yeah, inside the huddle, Gail, coach is just talking about his guys not going through the back door, just getting the simple play, driving to the basket and finishing. He says they got to crash the boards a little bit harder if they're going to pull away with this one.
All right, in the lane and making it go was Devin Holmes. And it's a 47-40 ball game. And again, we can't say it enough, Savannah is hanging around, closing in on the 2-minute mark.
But did you see how Savannah has slowed their offense down, though, Gil? They're not rushing things. They're taking their time and getting good looks.
The entry past the glass stolen away by Savannah. They got numbers. Stumbling, going to the hole was Kayvon Freeman, and the ball was rejected and knocked out of bounds by Mo Lewis.
And that was on the floor, so it'll be Savannah's ball out of bounds.
Foul was on Coleman, I stand corrected, and that's his 4th. And he will leave the ball game, exited right now, and in will be Cornegie. Justin Cornegie in.
Once again, a chance now to get it down to 5 or 4, Gil, which would be the closest we've been since the first quarter.
Right, since early on. You're exactly right. Trying to get inside was Jamal Norman, and he was fouled. And we talked about Milton getting in foul trouble. And again, a long bench will do this when you run people in waves, and that's what Coach Jordan has done all season long. That's the formula that got him here.
Well, you want to make your free throws when you're getting a lot of fouls, and those are going to be big the rest of the way. And I'm a little surprised that Coach Boyd is staying in the zone because Savannah's having some success with it, but I guess he figures he's going to foul less if he stays in his own defense. But he may switch up before long.
Norman again. Up and in. That'll make it 47-41, a 6-point lead now, enjoyed by the Eagles as we close in on the end of the third quarter here in Duluth. State 5A Boys Championship. Gil Tyree, Herb White, and our great crew here at GPB. You enjoying our exclusive coverage. Johnson, cross court to Patterson, stops up and shoots a 3, no good. Gets his own rebound and brings it back out. Jalen Patterson over on the right side. That's Cornegie. Cornegie over to Patterson. Down low to Glass, now to Cornegie. Gets in the middle, steps up, and gives it to Johnson, who launches a 3, doesn't get it. The rebound controlled by Freeman. Freeman ahead for Savannah and gives the ball to Russell Famble. Famble drives, hangs in the air, and the ball is knocked out of bounds.
Well, they got a break there. Fambro had nowhere to go, but Milton Mann touched the ball before it went out of bounds. And now, with a 2, it's down to a 4-point game. With a 3, it's a 3-point game. There's a 3.
And it got it. You called it, Herb White. And Jamal Norman has brought Savannah within 3. Under a minute to go. It's getting good here in Duluth.
That's Savannah here, and they're getting down. You can see their confidence growing now. And Milton, Milton beginning to look around thinking we're going to hold for one here.
Norman with 14. I hear it all, the hooping and hollering down in Savannah.
That's really impressive the way the Savannah crew has hung in there and really made the adjustments on their offensive end and played smart basketball.
Stolen again by Savannah. Milton struggling in the half-court set. There's Norman. Over to Freeman in the lane. Hands up and in and go. Good and one.
It could be a tie ball game at the end of the third quarter, and who'd have thunk it?
My goodness. Look at this, Herb White.
The big man football player. Who says they don't have any coordination? Hangs in the air. Look at the big guy, about 230 pounds, take it down the middle.
This crowd is coming on.
Knocks down the free throw.
We are tied. 10 seconds to go. Carnegie to Patterson. Over to Carnegie. The ball stolen away again by Savannah. Here we go at the buzzer. No! Oh my goodness, if that had gone, this place would have blown the lid off of it. Folks, fasten your seatbelts. We got a great fourth and final period. Our final game, knotted up at 47. Savannah, the Blue Jackets are coming. They're coming big time, and they've tied it. Milton and Savannah, a good one here. Stay tuned here on GPB.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The German Consulate in Atlanta, encouraging you to study German and to learn more about our diverse culture with much to discover in 2012. More information about Germany as an environmental leader and other current topics on the web at germany.info/Atlanta.
When you invite a plumber into your home, do you know if they are state certified? Why is that even important to you? Here's why. A state certified plumber cannot misrepresent themselves by telling you that they can do a job only to find out later that they were not qualified. Now you're out of time and money. At Plumber 911, all our plumbers are certified by the state of Georgia. They have more than 10,000 hours of on-the-job and classroom training, plus a background check. Information available at 404-373-9114 or online at plumber911.net.
Meet John. John has decided to drop out of school, but what he didn't realize is that now this door will be closed to him. And this one too. Well, you get the idea.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
You see the craziness here in Duluth tonight. The Milton Nation feeling it. They're tied right now. And what about the run by the Savannah Blue Jackets to tie this basketball game at 47, and I'm going to tell you something, Herb White, they have really, really come alive.
Well, a 9-0 run, but look at the quality of shots they're going to be getting in this run, Gil. Wide open 18-footer there. Now a nice move to the basket by the big man. Everything under control, and the other thing they're doing is when they were getting turnovers in the first two and a half quarters, they were turning the ball right back over. Now when they get a turnover, they're capitalizing and scoring off of it. So hang on, brother and sister. We got another one brewing here tonight at the Gwinnett Arena.
We may not be leaving for Macon just yet. I'll tell you that right now. Off the inbounds, and that was almost a violation. Johnson got it into Patterson. Patterson stops and drives and misses the shot. Glass with the rebound goes up. His shot is altered. And it is Savannah with the rebound, and we're moving the other way.
The Blue Jackets not conceding anything inside.
Chisholm out top. Milton is going to the man right now. Chisholm down low, and that's a hanging, my goodness. Devon Freeman, he's been playing big.
That's unbelievable body control for a man his size.
He has 9,
like that.
and that's 250 plus, folks. And 49-47. Savannah taking the lead right now. And they struggle, does Milton, in the half-court set, and a turnover.
David Boyd.
And David Boyd is going to take a timeout to talk it over.
Well, Milton just coming apart at the seams right now. Their defense is faltering, and they've turned it over 2 or 3 times. And, boy, I'm telling you, I haven't seen this much of a turnaround in quite a while.
But, again, what did we talk about? We said the ability for Coach Jordan to play 10 deep. And everybody has participated. You see Freeman. I think Freeman has played well. No question about that. And you look at that, Jamal Norman has played huge.
Watch
Take
the
a look
big
at
man
this.
here.
Yeah.
Nice pick and roll right there. Beautiful play by the guard. And, you know, I don't really see fatigue on Milton.
Right.
It doesn't look like they're fatigued, but, you know, it could be a mental fatigue because Savannah does keep coming at you. And I tell you, they are a scrappy bunch.
Let's go over to Lindsay. Lindsay Theory at courtside. Lindsay, it's all yours.
Yeah, guys, inside the huddles, Coach Boyd is telling his guys that they absolutely have to fight back. They're going man-to-man defense. Over on the Savannah side, Coach Jordan just telling his guys, you have 1 more quarter. You can finish this. Go get it.
Spivey, a circuit shot doesn't go. That's Nolte the other way. He lays it up and in. We're tied now at 49. 6:55 to go. Herb White.
Well, I figured they were going to come out of that zone pretty soon because Savannah was really tearing it apart. So now they've gone man-to-man. Let's see if it makes a difference.
They go down low to Freeman. He tries to get inside with that big body.
There's a foul on him.
And a foul. And you see him going up against Johnson, and definitely the weight advantage goes to Freeman. See the Milton off the bus stop. And Nolte ahead of everybody and able to knock it down. Johnson, that's his 2nd foul. So Savannah will trigger the inbounds. They get it in to Freeman. Back to, that's Famble. And Famble gets the basket, 51-49. The Blue Jackets of Savannah out in front. Pressure on Patterson by Spivey. Patterson backs out, tries to get around Spivey, and does. Goes in the corner to Nolte. Nolte against Famble. Down the glass, who goes up. By Johnson. And just like that, we're tied again. 51-51. Hang on, folks. Approaching the 6-minute mark in the final quarter of the State 5A Boys Championship game. That's Freeman, the whirl around. Gets his defender up in the air, shoots it up, misses. The rebound again. Taken by Basil. And take a look at this dunk right here off the foul.
Well, this is the most impressive dunk of the night for Shaq Johnson. Why? It's not a show dunk on the fast break. That's a 2-pointer they really needed there. And that's the kind of effort that they have to have going in. And, well, I tell you what, Savannah's inside guys are playing ball right now.
3 fouls on Johnson. Keep an eye on that. Nolte with 3. Johnson with 3. And again, what does Coach Jordan do? He goes to a wave of substitutions.
Well,
another wave coming in. Fresh guys.
Yeah, I leave Basil in, and I wouldn't leave Freeman on the bench for too long.
Right.
He's really playing well, and I'd give him about a minute and a half and get him back in the game because he's controlling that paint.
Well, Basil, the shooter, is still in. And after he makes the free throw, he will be replaced. And coming in for him will be Devon Holmes. 53-51. You just joined us here on GPB tonight. What a good one. Our final game on our primetime coverage of high school athletics here in the great state of Georgia, the state basketball championships. That's Milton. Down low to Glass. To Johnson. On the flush. And one.
He just worked on that baseline. They spreaded him out, and he got clear, and he flushed it.
Well, this is a power jam. And again, a big play. And no way to stop that. You might as well just not even foul him because you can't get up high enough to stop that shot. But excellent play by Milton. And Savannah was in that 1-3-1 trap, and Milton just handled it very well.
The foul on Norman. That's his 3rd. And Johnson able to connect on the 3-point play. 54-53, the Eagles of Milton. Out in front of the Blue Jackets of Savannah. You see the clock. That's what's remaining. Driving inside.
Well, every
possession
gold from here on out in a game like this, Gil. So Savannah doing the right thing, taking it to the rack and either scoring or drawing the foul.
Oh, so true, Herb White. You know this game better than anybody. And like you said, every possession is so precious. Every possession so important. Jamal Norman able to will that free throw in. We're tied now at 54. This one to give the Blue Jackets the lead. And another lead change here tonight. Up and no good. We remain tied. Milton with the basketball and the rebound courtesy of Glass to Patterson across the timeline, and he's guarded by Jermaine Williams. Patterson still with the basketball on the left side. A little shake and bake move to Milton, who works again, stumbles, and we got a whistle and a foul. And in the neighborhood was Jamal Norman.
Yeah, I believe they got Norman stepping in, trying to go for the steal.
And you get a look at Charles Mann and how much they miss him right now, Herb, in this situation, because they're undefeated right now when he plays.
That says it all right
But he's
there.
not right. And that's exactly, and that's why our great producer Steve Graham decided to focus in and show us just what they need right now. And what they need right now is on the bench and not able to play and not able to help them out.
Well, what they need right now is another free throw, and then what Savannah needs. And when you get to this stage of the ball game right now, it's a test of wills, it's a test of execution, it's a test of conditioning, and well, you got to answer just about every time, because you get down 2 or 3 possessions and it's just about over.
Multi makes both free throws, 56-54, driving the lane, and almost an and one was Jamal Norman, who was aggressive and went to the rack and was fouled. It would have counted had it gone down, but it didn't. And that's the 3rd foul on Glass. And like I said, keep an eye, Herb White, on these fouls that are mounting up for the Milton Eagles. Jamal Norman at the line. The first one is no good.
Well, you got to make them now. And, you know, I'm really against Savannah has really slowed their offense down, gotten under control, and has rarely made a bad play in this half on the offensive end. It's too bad they couldn't have started the game like that. But, you know, you get those jitters coming to Atlanta and playing a state championship. But, boy, they've really been impressive in the second half.
You see the numbers on Norman, and also back in the basketball game is Kevon Freeman, who's been a load, literally, for Milton to handle here tonight. 56-55. Savannah down 1. Multi will trigger the inbounds with token pressure by Savannah. Patterson able to beat it. He gets across the timeline. The screen set by Glass, and he backs out. Goes down the lane and tries to put up a shot, but is hacked. And it looks like Spivey is called for the foul. Javante Spivey on the reach-in.
Well, if I'm Savannah now, I back off a little bit with that pressure, because what's happening is they're coming out so far that Milton's going to get the ball in the middle, and they're going to get a shot going to the basket. Now, they got to make the free throws, but it looks like Savannah has just decided, well, if they get the ball going to the basket, we're just going to hack them and just go with whether they can make the free throws or not. But I'm close enough now where I just settle back and try to play good defense without fouling, see if you can get the rebound.
Kevin Glass missed the first one. It remains a 56-55 ball game. Milton out in front. The second one is up and good. It's now a 2-point lead. See the time showing on the clock, bottom of your screen, and that's what we have here in regulation in the 4th and final quarter of the 5A state championship game. Gil Tyree along with Herb White. And you see Freeman and Glass get into it, or Johnson was in the neighborhood and somebody got pushed.
Well,
that was a continuation. Let's take a look at it.
This is pretty good. Johnson over the back now. Freeman decides he didn't hear the whistle, so he's going to keep going to the right.
A little acting or what? Did he sell it? Trying to sell it or what?
Well, I think
Trying
his
to sell the
shoulder
charge.
weighs about as much as Zach Johnson.
That's Johnson, and that's 4.
Well, that's
a
big.
4. That's big on Shaq Johnson because they need him. First one up and good.
Well, as I mentioned, Freeman's pretty much taking over the paint, and I guarantee you I go right back to him the next time down with 4 fouls on Zach Johnson.
No question. It's been Freeman and also Norman who played huge for Coach Jordan. The second one up and in. And that'll tie the game at 57. That's our 6th tie here in this basketball game here tonight.
Well, I bet most of them have come in the second half because Milton led pretty much the whole game. But I wouldn't mind. I assume Basil will be back in the ball game as well soon. I'd put pressure on Milton's interior as much as possible with 2 fouls on Zach Johnson. I think Nolte's got 3 or 4. So
they can ill afford to lose either of those guys.
Late night here on GPB. You see our Lindsay Theory overlooking the huddle right now of the Milton Eagles. And, of course, we get things started at 9 a.m. tomorrow here on GPB with the wheelchair basketball game. And then we will get into the 1A and 2A state championships and 3A state championships. And, of course, Fletcher Proctor, Bob Houghton, will join us down in Macon along with John Nelson, Sean Golden. And we'll catch up with our Nikki Noto, who'll be there as well. Inbounds to Nolte, to Patterson, who drives to the rack in his hat.
Well, they called the foul, and I guess it's because it came over the back. Looked like a pretty good block from here. Maybe we'll see it again. I'm sure our crack crew caught it.
That foul was on Freeman, his second. Right in your living room is Mr. Patterson. Jalen Patterson at the line. The first one up and good. 58-57. The Eagles of Milton out in front. Milton now 5 of 6 at the charity stripe down the stretch, while Savannah is 6 of 8. Across the timeline right now is Chisholm. Chisholm goes down low to Freeman, double team in the lane, and forced up a bad shot was Spivey. The rebound to Milton, and Patterson tried to work the two-man game with Johnson, knocked out of bounds by Jermaine Williams. So Milton will regain possession, leading 59-57. Jamal Norman into the game, Spivey out for Savannah. 4:34 left to go in this basketball game in the regulation. Evan Coleman to Patterson. Patterson on the left side. Goes high-low to Glass, who puts it up and in, and it's knocked out and knocked away. And Jermaine Williams on the foul. And that's his third. So Glass will go to the line. Herb White.
Well, we had very few free throws in the first half, but we're making up for that now, and it's going to be a lot of them down the stretch, and it's whoever can make them may just pull this ball game out.
Well, again, you're right on the money, because Glass is 9 of 13 in the charity stripe, and he's making them down the stretch. And with that free throw made, it's now a three-point game. And you see Tevin Glass's numbers on the night, 13 points. And with 3 fouls right now, he gets the second one up and in. And that's his 61-57 Milton lead. A little breathing room right now at 4. Closing in on the 4-minute mark. The ball almost stolen away and dove for by Patterson, but regained by the Blue Jackets. And they lose it in the half court, and they spot Freeman on the foul. And that may be it. That's 4, excuse me, 4 for Freeman.
Well, a little bit unfortunate there. I'm surprised that they called that one on Freeman. Let's see it replay here. Now the ball goes out. He had a hand on the ball. That's a tough call on the big man there.
He and Coleman went after it. And they spotted Freeman for the foul, so Coleman will go to the line.
Basil's going to report in for the big guy.
Get him out now. Probably bring him what? You bring him back near the 2-minute mark? Or
I give him a minute and I get him back in there. Let him get fresh so he doesn't pick up a foul because he's tired, because this is a huge possession coming back down here after this time.
The lead now at 5 for Milton, 62-57 over Savannah. The second one is no good by Evan Coleman. And the rebound up and in by Johnson. Johnny on the spot. He's been every place. At the right place, right time. The lead now 7. And the Milton Eagles on a 7-0 run. Down low, 2-man game. Spotting up for the jumper is Chisholm. He backs it out. And he gives it over to Jermaine Williams. Jermaine Williams working against Nolte. Over to Chisholm. Chisholm down low to Basil. Bites it up off glass. And a quick timeout by Savannah. Basil with 9. 64-59, Herb White.
Good job of not panicking. Let's see that again. Okay, yes, a bad bounce on this free throw, and Zach Johnson took advantage of it. Two guys for Savannah had it, and boy, that was huge because now watch this. That's just good offense there, taking it down low, not panicking. They absolutely had to have two, and they got it. So this is, you know, a two-possession game, and boy, you just need a good stop, and they haven't been able to stop them without fouling, and that's what they need to do. You just can't keep putting Milton on the free throw line because they're a pretty good shooting free throw team. So see if you can't get a stop and get a rebound.
You get a look inside the huddle of the Milton Eagles. David Boyd barking out instructions to his team right now, leading by 5, 64-59. 3:32 to go here in the final period, and what a game it's been. We've already crowned 3 champions. The Milton girls, the Milton boys, the Miller Grove girls, the Miller Grove boys, and then the McEachern girls. And will it be the Milton boys with an opportunity to bring home a championship tonight, or will it be the Blue Jackets of Savannah? All right.
Well, literally.
Our producer Steve Graham told me in my ear, and Steve, you're Johnny on, right on. It's an M night. It's an M night.
Well, we'll see. We might slip an S in there. So
I'm sure.
Connor Nolte, very intelligent guy. I wouldn't be surprised if this play down the floor doesn't run through Connor Nolte, or Evan Nolte, excuse me, when they get to the other end.
Milton able to break the press, and they'll back it out. That's Patterson after the entry from Coleman. Patterson working against Chisholm. Glass now out high and looking over and finds Patterson. Milton spreading it out, going to a semblance of a 4-corner to burn off some of this clock. Down low is Glass. He spins, puts up a shot, rebound. Nolte backs it out to Patterson. Smart play.
Well, that's huge play by Nolte.
That's Patterson driving in the lane, lays it up, no good. And a rebound taken down by Savannah, and we're going the other way. Off the bust out and laying it up, and no good. The rebound fought for, and still fought for, and it's Nolte who gets it to Glass. Out to Johnson, and here we go. 65-59. Glass on the trail. It's a 7-point lead for the Milton Eagles. 2:29 to go. Wow.
A lot of action. It was anybody's ball, but Milton was able to come up with a loose one. Savannah missed one inside, and boy, it hurt them.
Take a look at this. This is at a frenetic pace. Down the lane, and hello. One more look. Herb White, take us through. You see it, what it looked like up top.
Well, just excellent ball handling on the break, and I don't know how many dunks that Milton's got tonight, but
in your living room.
Yes, sir. Again, Savannah had the good look inside and couldn't get it to go down, and boy, Milton took no time to turn it around and go down for the slam, but still got us a ball game. 2.5 minutes to play, 7-point game. So again, Savannah, come down and look. I wouldn't be surprised if Freeman gets back in the game. He is back in the game. So get you 2 here.
Spivey will trigger it in front of us here. You get a shot of the wild and crazy Milton crowd here in Duluth here tonight, and what a game it's been here on GPB. That is Chisholm. Chisholm working against Coleman. Over to Spivey, to Chisholm. Back out to Spivey. He's hanging around at 3-point lane. He drives against Patterson. Gives it right now. The entry pass inside, and going up with a strong move is Holmes. And that makes it now a 66-61 ball game. Savannah down by 5. Patterson in trouble. And the referee right there, and he spots a foul.
Yeah, not a bad foul. You're down 5. Probably would have waited a little while to foul, but you got to go inside every time. You saw Zach Johnson. He didn't even make an effort to try to play defense or block that shot. He has 4 fouls, so I'm going inside if I'm Savannah every time.
Free throws right now, Savannah 15 of 26. Milton 20 of 31. Now 20 of 32, correct that? Okay. The miss right there by Patterson. David Boyd has 5 state championships and the only coach in state history to win 1 state title at 4 different high schools.
Don't ask me to
name one
name
at Milton
Berkmar.
in 2010. And he's on the verge of possibly winning one in 2012. 1:55, we're under the 2-minute mark here.
Two-possession game, Gil. They're not a three-point shooting team, but they don't need a three. But they need to get into their offense in a hurry and look inside.
Norman working against Patterson, looking for Famble. Still with the ball is Norman. He launches up a three, no good. Fighting for the rebound was Kevon Freeman. And he and Glass were there at the same time, and they spot Glass on the foul. That's his fourth.
Somebody's going to be shooting a couple. It's going to be the big man, and he's got a nice stroke at the line.
Yes, he does. And if nobody was looking at anybody for Savannah before this game, they're looking at him now. Because they got about 4 or 5 guys that can play for anybody. The missed shot by Freeman. They get another opportunity. The Blue Jackets trail by 6, could possibly trail by 5 if he's able to negotiate this one, and he does. 67-62. Minute 39 to go. You see the pressure by Savannah, and they back out. Nolte across the timeline. Gives it over to Patterson. They want to milk that clock. They have the lead by 5. They back out to Nolte. Back to Patterson as they work the weave. The screen set by Glass, and he backs out. Patterson still with the basketball. Drives. Gives it to Nolte, who backs out and gives it to Patterson. A minute 12 to go in this basketball game. Patterson drives the lane, looks for a man in Johnson. Ball stolen away on the floor. They fight for it, and it's regained by Milton in the form of Evan Coleman. Coleman to Nolte. Over on the left side, and Patterson fakes the shot but backs out. Under pressure, finds Nolte streaking in the back line. Is fouled, and that's a flagrant. He banked it in, and that may do it to it, Herb White.
Well, I got to question that. Savannah had to foul before that because you end up giving the foul in the basket, and this was a killer right there.
You see the elbow to the chest. And that's Freeman, and he's done.
Well, I'm just really surprised that Savannah let him run 30 seconds, maybe a little longer off the clock because, man, you just had to foul right then. But now you give up the basket and the free throw. That's a killer.
And that is a flagrant.
And they'll get the ball back.
They'll get the ball back, and they have, pending this free throw, the lead can swell to 8 and possibly more. You get a look at Freeman. And you get a look at the Savannah bench. And he has fouled out of this basketball game.
Well, he's a heck of a ball player. I was really impressed with the young man, the way he played in the second half. He put the team on his shoulders and brought him back into this game. Even gave Savannah the lead briefly, and that's pretty impressive. But it's looking bad now as Nolte's at the line for one more.
Nolte makes the first one and misses the second one. But Milton will regain possession. And should David Boyd win tonight, he will be 1 win away from 600. And looks like he's going to wait till the 2012-2013 season to get that. But he'll get another state championship to add on to the one he got in 2010 and continues to build a dynasty with the Eagles basketball program. Patterson is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Well, I think you waited too long to start fouling. I mean, they were fouling the whole fourth quarter anyhow, so why you waited another 30, 40 seconds on that one position to foul, I don't understand that, but I don't understand a lot of things, Gil.
Yes, you do. Jalen Patterson will put up the first one, and it's good. And if you look, I mean, you look at this this basketball team. I mean, Milton is loaded. Loaded. Just a pipeline of major college basketball.
Yeah, well, you're pretty impressive when you lose your 6'6" point guard who's going to major college. And
well, you look at what they lost last year. Julian Royal, Dejon Parker, Scott going to Ohio State, and they're going to lose some more this year. Outstanding. Just an outstanding bunch. Driving the lane and getting up and in is Spivey. And just like that, Savannah calls a timeout. With about 40 ticks to go, but they're down 8. Herb White.
Well, don't expect the Savannah to pack their suitcase and go home yet. They're going to play the last 40.3 out. And it's only a 3-possession game, so if they can get Milton to miss a couple of free throws, who knows?
Right.
But you got to really be impressed by, I mean, Milton, a great basketball team. and did what you expected. But I'd have to tell you, I was surprised that Savannah was able to come back in this ball game. I thought when they had the chance at the end of the first half and they cut it down to 6 and maybe could cut a little more and they let it balloon back to 13, I thought that might take it out of them. But boy, they came back in the second half and played a whale of a ball game.
Just a reminder, post-game coverage here on GPB. And of course, our Mark Harmon and Jackie Britton will be anchoring that. And we'll crown the final champion here tonight in the Gwinnett portion. But just a reminder, we kick things off tomorrow at 9 a.m. with the wheelchair basketball game here on GPB. And then we slide into the 1A boys and girls, and then the 2A boys and girls. And then we'll crown the 3A boys and girls down at the venerable Macon Coliseum.
And if you don't think the wheelchair game is competitive, tune it in. You'll see some crashing and people falling out of chairs and getting back in them. It's always an amazing thing to watch.
The great athletes, and of course, the Association of Adapted Sports, and what a job Tommy Storms and Bev Vaughn do with that crew.
Great folks.
And wonderful, wonderful people. They're passionate, and they're great people for the great state of Georgia. And this state is so blessed with so many great people who care about these kids and care about the athletes all along the state.
Well, that's one thing I'm going to be proud of as long as I live, is we were able to put that wheelchair game together. Ralph Swearingen came to us and said, can we raise the money to do another game? And
exactly.
And we did that, and I've got that first game and that first championship with those kids on my wall in my office, and I've never been prouder of anything in my life. Georgia was the first state to ever televise a wheelchair championship, by the way.
No question, and other states have followed in Kentucky and Florida and New Jersey, and they're also going to have wheelchair football. Everybody matters here in this state. Stolen away by Milton. And this thing is, I think a technical has been called on Coach Jordan. And you hate to see that.
Well, a little frustration, no doubt about it.
You really don't like to see that. Not at this level.
Well,
so that's frustration, and he's had an outstanding year. Of course, the Blue Jackets hailing from Region 3, 5A, and a great run. A great run that comes to a close here tonight. The lead for Milton now at 10 and counting.
I tell you, it's a tough job to have 10 or 11 players in every ball game when you're playing them and getting them all to be on the same page night in and night out. So you got to give the coach a lot of credit. And again, just a heck of a championship game here tonight. It's been a pleasure to watch this one.
Another wave of Blue Jackets in the basketball game right now. And 29 seconds to go. And this one is coming to an end. As my good friend Al McCoy would say, is about ready to put in the old deep freeze. And Nolte will go to the line after he was fouled. But you really don't like to see a coach getting a technical at the end of a basketball game. You really don't. Fourth quarter, take a look at the free throw percentages. Milton right at 50%. Savannah, 7 of 10. Milton was 15 out of 20. They were more than 50%. They were at 75%. So
well, this is about as many free throws as I've seen in a state championship game. They got to be approaching 40 free throws for the game, aren't they?
Right. And Evan Nolte, will be headed to Charlottesville, Virginia. So one of the coach and one of the guys that I really think the world of. I really like Tony Bennett. Does an outstanding job. Has really got that program heading in the right direction. They lost to NC State in the ACC tournament to another dear friend of mine, Mark Godfrey, today. But they're going to go somewhere.
Oh, what's more fitting than one more Zach Johnson?
Mr. Johnson puts an exclamation mark on this one. And it's going to be all Milton. The spot up 3 by Jermaine Williams counts. And Savannah calls and burns a timeout. Well, but that is the end of the basketball game. Because no time is shown on the clock unless they put some more time up there. 0.9, okay.
You're going to have to come up with a heck of a press here. And you know what? One more by Shaq Johnson. Let's see it.
Nice shovel pass by Nolte.
Note to be joining another great Georgian. I thought
yes.
a guy that I really liked his game
That's
from
right.
Greater Atlanta Christian,
Right.
Malcolm Brogdon, is a kid that can do everything well. He and Nolte will complement each other.
And put on a show last year down in Macon.
Yes, he did, and he's
put on
playing
a great
very well
show,
as a freshman at Virginia.
Right. And I'm sure had a lot of people, a lot of family down at Phillips Arena, even though they lost to NC State today, 67-64. Mark Gottfried and company moving on. They'll get North Carolina tomorrow.
And let's take our hats off to David Boyd again, man. I mean, you can't say enough about a guy with almost 600 wins and 5 state championships at 4 different schools. Just an unbelievable record.
This will stand at $5.99. He'll have one more, and that's going to do it to it.
And let the celebration begin. The Milton Eagles are the 5A state champions in the great state of Georgia, 79-67 over Savannah.
And people don't think it means anything to these kids anymore because all the AAU tournaments. We'll take a look at those guys.
Jump around, jump around.
And David Boyd, that's about as excited as you'll see David Boyd get right there.
There's Charles Mann. He'll join in the celebration.
And you know he's got to feel relieved if Milton would have lost this one. He really would have felt terrible.
Herb White, how did you see this basketball game? When did it turn?
Well, it didn't turn until the last few minutes. I thought, you know, Milton just with their great execution, and Savannah had to foul, and Milton made the free throws in the second half. But you can't say enough about Savannah either, because they made the adjustments and really turned this game around in the second half. And but for a few missed inside shots, this thing could have gone either way.
Johnson with 20, Nolte with 16, Patterson with 16, and Glass with 17. I thought Glass played huge, and he's going to have some opportunities down the road. So the Milton Eagles are the champs over the Savannah Blue Jackets. We'll be back to wrap things up here in Duluth after these very important messages on the great GPB.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
The GHSA Basketball Championships are made possible in part by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. Georgia's Electric Membership Corporation, lighting the way. And by viewers like you. Thank you. The GHSA would like to thank Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, Verizon Wireless, and Wilson.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come.
Class 2A state championship. Where are you going?
I'm going back to high school. Your dreams
You're watching GPB, television worth sharing.
Back here in Duluth, and the Milton Eagles are the champions in 5A, 79-67 over the Savannah Blue Jackets. Now let's go to Mark Harmon on the presentation of the big hardware here tonight. Marky Mark, it's all yours.
Thank you, Gil. Congratulations to the Milton Eagles, the Class 5A boys state champion. And now for the trophy presentation, we go to Ernie Yarborough of the GHSA. Ernie?
Well, congratulations, first of all, to the Milton Eagles. And we are pleased to have representatives from Georgia Farm Bureau here, our presenting sponsors.
On behalf of Georgia Farm Bureau and Chatham County Farm Bureau, we congratulate the winners. Job well done.
Congratulations, Coach David Boyd, raising the trophy high for the Milton Eagles. Coach, talk about this victory. It was a hard-fought win. You came forward in the fourth quarter.
Well, I thought Savannah played a great game. They really tested us. They deserve a lot of credit. We kept our composure in the fourth quarter and pulled through, and I'm real proud of the guys. We've gone through a lot of adversity this year, and they pulled through, held in there, and I'm real proud of them, and also real proud of our Milton fans out there. They did a great job. Good job, guys.
Big Evan Nolte, tell us what this means for you and your teammates to win this basketball championship.
It's just great to see all the hard work that we put in, beginning of the season, conditioning, and then throughout the year, and it's just a great feeling. And we want to thank all the fans. You guys are the best.
All right, where's big number 2, Shaquille? Tevin, we'll talk to Tevin Glass here real quick. Tevin, come here. Tevin, tell us now what it means to hold this trophy high for you and your teammates.
Feels great. We came out with a lot of intensity, played great defense in the fourth, and we executed our plays, and we won the game.
All right, Shaquille Johnson's right behind you. Shaquille, you put on a slam dunking exhibition out there today. Talk about, you got to get out behind Tevin. There you go. Look in the camera and tell you what's your feeling right now as state champions, Class 5A, state of Georgia.
I love my teammates.
Yeah. Hey, Charles, man, you couldn't play, but just tell about how proud you are, your teammates are to get the job done the last couple of games.
I mean, they came out there, just played hard. I'm proud of them. I love them. I love them. I love y'all.
Yeah. All right, the Milton Eagles, your Class 5A boys state champions. And with that, we send it back to Gil and Herb.
All right, Mark Harmon, thank you. And this caps what has been an outstanding day here, Herb White on GPB. We started it out, and you look at what on the wheelchair basketball game. We started at about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then we go on to Renee Breedlove and her Miller Grove ladies. They win the championship in 4A, the 4A girls over SWD, Southwest DeKalb. Then the boys of Miller Grove and Charmin White, Tony Parker, 4 straight now, and a historic moment for them. Then Phyllis Arthur and the McEachern girls, ranked number 2 in the country, go undefeated. They do a number on Hillgrove, and we cap it here tonight with the Milton Eagles, and then David Boyd adds another state championship to his resume. He has a Midas touch. Everywhere he goes, he gets it done, and he gets it done tonight. Now stuck on 599, 1 win away from getting to that 600 mark. How about that?
I mean,
what about a day?
We see history made. I mean, you know, we've seen it twice tonight, 4 in a row for Miller Grove, joining one other team to do it, actually 2 other teams, but in the modern era, just 1. And then David Boyd making history, 4 championships, 5 different schools. It's just amazing. And, you know, there's going to be more tomorrow. I can't wait to get to Macon.
Get some sleep. We're going to get on the road. We're heading down to Macon and join, of course, Fletcher Proctor and Bob Houghton. And, of course, Nikki Noto and company, they're standing by down there. We'll have another outstanding day. We'll kick it off at 9 a.m. with the wheelchair basketball game. That's going to wrap it up here at courtside. Let's go over to my partners in crime, Jackie and Mark Harmon, who's been a very busy man. Mark, it's all yours.
Hey, Gil and Herb, thank you so very much. It's great to see you. Day 1 now in the books of championship weekend here on GPB. We got Jackie standing alongside, and you got one final social media hit for us.
One final hit for the night. Let's give you the results of our poll. The question tonight was about the dunk contest and whether or not the AJC dunk contest was really just a popularity contest, and the results stand with 71% of you saying it was only a popularity contest. So thank you for participating in that and giving us your